Good afternoon. I'm pleased to welcome you to the Palladium at the Center for the Performing Arts for a special naturalization ceremony presided over by the United States District Court for the Southern District of Indiana. We congratulate all of you for making it through the naturalization process and becoming United States citizens. Before we begin today's ceremony, I have a few brief announcements. First, before we begin, please take a moment to note your nearest exit. There are exits on either side of the room and 2 in the back. In the event of an emergency, please proceed to your nearest exit. You should have received a white envelope at check-in containing important information on next steps after today's ceremony, such as updating your Social Security record and your application form to apply for a United States passport. The passport form is provided for your convenience. Once filled out, you can submit this form at your local post office for processing. You also received a stack of papers from the usher when you were seated. Please be sure that you take those with you when you leave. The last form in the packet is your voter registration form. You can complete this at your convenience and mail it to the address on the back of the form, or you can also submit that online. Today's ceremony is being live streamed, and the links are printed on the second page of your packet. Feel free to share those with your friends and family. At the end of today's ceremony, please remain in your seats. You will be dismissed by row to receive your certificates of naturalization. At this time, I ask everyone to please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. I now present Doria Lynch, who will open court today.
All rise. The United States District Court for the Southern District of Indiana is now in session. The Honorable Robin Moberly presiding.
Be seated. Good afternoon. It's so nice to be able to do these in person. It's not quite the same as it was pre-pandemic, but we're inching our way there. And I'm sure that you all are delighted to have this special occasion occur in this beautiful building, the Palladium. As Doria Lynch said, I'm Judge Robin Moberly. I'm a bankruptcy judge in the Southern District of Indiana. I have not done one of these in a little while due to the pandemic, so we'll forge ahead together. I'd like to introduce to you Immigration Officer Tracy Alexander, who is a United States Citizenship and Immigration Services representative, and she will have some remarks for you.
Hello, how are you today? We're excited to see you, and congratulations on making it to this step. I understand that today I'm supposed to read a list of countries who you are from. I'm not sure if they would like you to rise to recognize the country that you're from. Yep. So first is Algeria and Bangladesh, Benin and Brazil, Burma, Cameroon, Chile, Colombia, Congo, Kinshasa, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Egypt, El Salvador, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Germany, Haiti, Honduras, India, Iraq, Japan, Jordan, Kenya, South Korea, Mexico, Niger, Nigeria, Philippines, Russia, Sudan, Uganda, Ukraine, and last but not least, Vietnam. We welcome you all. Thank you so much.
Well, we have quite a wide range and kind of an exotic range of countries from which you all herald. We're so glad to have everybody here. I'm sure you are glad, particularly because of the international and rest of the world. I'm sure you're glad to be in a wonderful place like the United States, as I am. I tell my kids, and I'm sure each of you feel this way, that when you are born here, or in your case, naturalized as citizens, that you've truly hit the lottery by being here. I think about that every day, that we all have been so fortunate. We're going to start off, actually, with the oath of citizenship. So everyone here who is going to become a naturalized citizen of our country, would you please stand? Raise your right hand. So before you do that, let me just warn you, this is a very archaic oath. It's been around for over 200 years, so some of the words are not words that we use customarily in our daily conversation. So hang with me on this, and I'll try to make it as clear and easy as I possibly can. So if you'd stand, and each of you raise your right hands and be sworn or affirm. I state your name. Hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combative service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. Thank you. You may be seated. Well, welcome to citizenship. It's customary to speak to our new citizens about what a great country we have and how fortunate they are to become citizens of this great country. However, it struck me that this country became great and remains great in large part because of its immigrants. Therefore, I thought it appropriate to celebrate this wonderful moment not by boasting about this country, but rather by stressing that those of us who are born to American citizenship should be thankful to immigrants, past, present, and future. Let me elaborate just briefly. First, all too often those of us who are born to American citizenship forget that each of us, with the exception of the Native Americans, has an immigrant in their history. Many of us descended from German, Swedish, English, Irish, Czech, Russian, French, or Italian stock. Others of us have more exotic immigration histories in our families. But virtually all of us have our forefathers to thank for the traumatic task of immigration. Whether they came here in the terrible confines of a slave ship or booked passage on a beautiful luxury liner, our immigrant ancestors all took risks to come to this country. Therefore, most native-born citizens owe a real debt of gratitude to the immigrants in our past. Second, all too often we forget what each generation of new immigrants has done for this country. Our political system was inspired by immigrants. Our railroads, our coal mines, our cotton fields, our oil wells, and our steel mills were built, dug, tended, drilled, or stoked by immigrants. Our space program is a testament to immigrants. Our wars were fought by immigrants. Virtually everything of value that we have in this country, from political freedoms to economic progress, was in some way influenced by immigrants. Third, all too often we forget that immigrants, by their mere presence, bless us with a diversity that truly enriches our spirit. What would Boston be without an Irish brogue? What would Milwaukee be without German food? Could there really be a San Francisco without Chinatown? Can you imagine Chicago without the ethnic neighborhoods of Poles, Czechs, and Hungarians? Wouldn't Miami be a boring expanse of sand without the Cubans? Aren't cities with names like San Antonio, Santa Fe, and Los Angeles contradictions in terms without the Mexicans? Our art, our food, our music, our humor, our language, our literature, and indeed our daily lives are made immensely more interesting because of immigrants. Those of us who today welcome our new citizens would do well to reflect on how lucky we, not just they, are. The new citizens we welcome today will enrich this nation beyond any expectation. I want to share with you the words of our sixth president, John Quincy Adams. You will never know how much it cost my generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you will make good use of it. Please make good use of the freedoms you now enjoy as United States citizens. It is with these grateful thoughts that I welcome each and every one of our new citizens. Now I'd like to introduce Jeffrey McDermott, who's the president and CEO of the Center for the Performing Arts. Mr. McDermott?
Thank you, and may it please the court, thank you, Judge Mobley, for those very thoughtful remarks and for the opportunity to offer a few of my own to you today. First, good afternoon and welcome to everyone here, and thank you for joining us. My name is Jeff McDermott. I'm proud to serve as the president and the CEO right here at the Center for the Performing Arts and for the Great American Songbook Foundation. Primarily, I want to express just how honored we are to once again be selected to host this very moving and this very important ceremony right here at the Palladium. I know that many of you have come from long distances and you have worked very hard and waited for a very long time to reach this moment. Our mission here at the Center for the Performing Arts is to inspire all of the central Indiana community through enriching arts experiences, and we really believe that this particular ceremony fits very well with that definition, and it fits well because we've seen just how engaging and inspiring this kind of a day is. More importantly, we're inspired by you, by each and every one of you. We're proud of you, and we're proud of the opportunity to host you here. You're going to leave here today as U.S. citizens, and we hope that you will be back here soon as our neighbors and our friends to enjoy the arts and education events that we offer to people from every walk of life right here. As we gather today, We know that people around the world are fighting, they're hurting, and they're dying for the freedoms that we all enjoy. We've seen the terrible images of war in the news, and yet your presence here is a reminder of how we must never forget the precious freedoms that we all are so fortunate to enjoy. Again, let me thank Judge Moberly and all of her staff for choosing our venue and for working with us to make this event happen. And I especially want to thank each and every one of you, our newest United States citizens, for sharing this very special moment with all of us. Now I'd like to introduce one of our very talented resident companies who you've had the opportunity to enjoy before we got started today. Please join me in welcoming many of our great friends from the Indiana Wind Symphony.
Thank you very much. That was lovely. Well, I just want to make a brief closing remark to you, and that is just to welcome you all and congratulate you to your citizenship here in the United States. We are very pleased and humbled to have you. With that, we'll be adjourned.
All rise.
Please be seated. That concludes today's ceremony. In a few minutes, we will begin to dismiss you by row to receive your certificates of naturalization. Please take all of your belongings with you, as you will not be returning to the auditorium. And once you receive your certificate of naturalization, you are free to go. Guests, please exit the auditorium with the new citizen that you arrived with. Please continue walking past the certificate distribution point out into the lobby. Again, congratulations to all of you.